Everyone, and welcome back. I'm Lainey Hauser, Transformational Life Coach, where I teach you how to live your life with joyful confidence. Today I want to talk about something that is kind of near and dear to my heart, like I do every day, right? But today I want to talk about emotional eating and what it means to be an emotional eater. I spent many years as an eating disorder specialist. I've worked with hundreds of clients, teaching them how to eat healthy. I've worked all the way from BMIs of 14, 15, all the way up to 94. So I have worked with everything in between. I studied nutrition as my undergrad degree, and then I went on to study counseling and worked with eating disorders for many years. So I want to talk to you today about just a really simple cycle of emotional eating. You can see it behind me, and I'm just going to go over it with you. It's just one of the many things that we could talk about with emotional eating, but I think it might help you understand some of the reasons why you eat emotionally. So let's look at it. So this is the cycle of emotional eating, or the cycle of shame. And you eat emotionally. We're just going to start there. It would probably, the cycle would really start here, somewhere in childhood, where you had some shameful thing that happened to you, and you decided that eating was better than feeling the pain or feeling the feelings that went along with whatever that event was. So you eat emotionally. So we're going to start here, the eating emotionally. You feel something comes up, you feel anxiety, or maybe you don't even notice that you feel it, but you just find yourself eating. And that could be binging, restricting, over-exercising. It could be any number of things that block you from feeling your emotions, and we call that emotional eating. So it's anything that stops you from feeling what's happening inside your body so that you don't have to feel it. We call that emotional eating. That's what happens with binging, restricting, eating in secret, overeating, eating things that you know aren't good for you, all kinds of things that get you into emotional eating. So what happens from there is you've eaten emotionally, maybe you've eaten in secret, or you've gone on a binge and eaten the entire package of cookies, or you've made a tray of brownies and you've eaten the entire tray. And after you've eaten that tray, the next thing that happens to you is you feel an incredible amount of shame. And shame tells you that you didn't do something bad, but that you are bad. It tells you, I am bad. I am a bad person. I should be able to stop myself. I couldn't stop myself. I should have more self-control than this. I hate myself is ultimately what shame says. Shame is a very debilitating emotion. It is one that encompasses and is a full body experience. None of us like it. We all have had it at one point in our lives or another as human beings. But emotional eating causes a shame experience. And then the next thing that happens is isolation. I hate myself. If I hate myself, everyone else must hate me. So we isolate, and then we also think simultaneously, I can do better than that. I should do better than that. So then that leads to dieting, do-it-yourself options. I can do better tomorrow. I'm going to start my diet tomorrow. I'm not going to binge tomorrow. I'm not going to purge tomorrow. I'm not going to restrict tomorrow. I'm going to live tomorrow better. I'm going to do this dieting thing. I'm going to try this. I'm going to try that. So we do that, and that works. Sometimes it can even work for a long period of time, but we haven't dealt with any of the shame. We haven't dealt with any of the reasons why we would eat emotionally in the first place. And so we're doing these options as a behavior modification without changing our internal structure, our internal world. So then you begin dieting. It works for a while, but then it doesn't work. And so then you're here on the cycle where it doesn't work. And this brings about feelings of low self-worth, low self-esteem. You may not be completely in the shame piece, but at least you're emerging back into shame again, where you feel like, I can't do this, I'm not good enough, I'm isolated, and you keep trying it over and over and over again, and you just keep doing this cycle day after day after day after day, sometimes hour after hour after hour. If you're like many of my clients who have been bulimics, just struggling sometimes moment by moment with this cycle. You don't know yourself, you don't trust yourself, you're isolated, you're probably a people pleaser, so you're trying to figure out what everyone else wants. If you find yourself in the people pleasing category, go click over to my people pleaser video and watch that for a time or two. But you're isolated. The biggest thing about this is it leads to isolation, feelings of loneliness, depression, anxiety, numbing out. Food can be numbing, very numbing. So you're stuck. How in the world do you get off of this and begin to live a healthy life? Well, the first place to start is with the shame. And the first place to start with the shame is just to notice that it's there and to notice that it's a human experience. So you've got this shame going on and you can say to yourself, wow, I feel an enormous amount of shame right now. And that's okay. I don't hate myself. I love myself. I feel shame right now. That's okay. I love myself. So you're beginning to kind of get yourself out of the shame piece of it and working on the feelings of self-worth, right? And there's a lot to this. Obviously, this isn't simple. This is a simple cycle, but it's very complex when you're storing all of this energy in your body. The main thing that comes down to with an eating disorder or disordered eating or emotional eating, any of the things that go into that bag of tricks, is you don't trust yourself and you don't like yourself. So part of the thing to escape the emotional eating is to begin to get to know yourself, who you are, what do you really like. If you notice that you are emotional eating, stop right there and ask yourself, what do I really like? Do I really like this bag of chips? Is this bag of chips really satisfying my emotional need right now? What's really happening? You ask yourself, what's really happening inside? You slow down, you take a moment, and you go inside and you say, what's really happening? Am I feeling anxious, depressed, overwhelmed, bored, sad, confused? What kind of emotions are going on inside of me? Now, obviously, this isn't a simple process. It's much more difficult than I'm making it in this 7-minute video. But you get the gist. You've got to start somewhere. You've got to start somewhere in this process of beginning to take captive your thoughts and to begin to think about what you're feeling and thinking so that you can overcome emotional eating. This doesn't have to be your life. I want to encourage you, if you need to get some help. Most people don't do this alone. Most people seek help. I just want to encourage you to get the help that you need. If you're stuck in this cycle, and by stuck, I mean you can't get out no matter which way you turn, you feel like you can't get out, there is always a way out. There is always a different choice. There's always a way to freedom. So I want to encourage you to ask for the help that you need. Reach out and ask for some help to get yourself better. Imagine that your life can be completely different 6 months from now because you reached out and asked for help. It's not an overnight thing, but 6 months from now, you can have a totally different life. It's up to you. You get to choose. I'm here to help. You can reach out to me. You're talking to someone who can help you be free from this. I would love to help you. Until next time, I love you. Go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube channel so you don't miss anything on eating or how to live life successfully. Love you.